Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you know it's me, Lady Great One. I do have to apologize, but my co host for the night is not usually here right now, and I'm so sad. My boy Jay Riddy is taking a break, but we're going to have an amazing show, so welcome out to Marking Out Amongst Friends. Now, we have a very, very, very special guest this evening. So, if you would please introduce yourself to the world, very special guest.
Oh, thank you, thank you. My name is Mr. VIP Dante. Glad to be here. Been listening to the show and glad to finally be on the show.
Well, I thank you so much, sir, for you joining us, taking time out of your busy schedule, Mr. VIP. I know you've got very important things to do and places to be, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to jump right on into this. So we've had a kind of an exciting build going on with Money in the Bank looming. We're starting to get a little card set up. I want to go ahead and talk about this, what happened this past week on Raw and SmackDown. I'm going to catch up for the last couple of weeks, actually, so I can graze over the other opponents as well who entered. First off, let's talk about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So far, it is set up to we have Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Rusev, The Miz, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens. One of the three members of New Day has earned a spot, which one has yet to be determined. And next week, we will have Samoa Joe versus Big Cass for the final spot. So I think this card is shaping up to look pretty nicely. There's a couple of good names out there, and I'm very, very excited for this match. And I would personally hope that Samoa Joe ends up taking that last spot. I think that Samoa Joe could definitely use this push in the right direction. And to see the outcome of this match, having Samoa Joe take a spot in here and going up against some of the best in the business right now. I mean, Braun is hot as fire. I mean, so is The Miz. He's on a roll. Even though he did lose his Intercontinental Championship, he's still The Miz, and he is awesome. Rusev, nobody ever thought that Rusev Day was going to be as over as it is. What is your takes on this match so far, Mr. VIP?
It's shaping up. It's shaping up. As long as, like you said, Samoa Joe win, I'll be happy with him getting into the match. I don't know how it would be with Cass being in it, especially you already got Braun in it. You can't have two big men like that, and Braun is going to overpower Cass in any type of way. But I like, it's a lot of new people that haven't had the opportunity to actually have the Money in the Bank besides Miz. So it's shaping up really well.
I mean, it's really good that we got the veteran, The Miz, coming in there. You've got Kevin Owens making his Money in the Bank debut. You've got Braun Strowman making his debut. You've got Rusev. You got Finn. You got Bobby Roode. All of these newcomers making their debuts in Money in the Bank. Which member of the New Day do you think is going to be the entrant into this Money in the Bank?
My heart would be set on Big E just because he needs to have a singles run. But if it's a Money in the Bank, a ladder match, then they probably will pick Kofi.
Oh, so you think that they're going to choose Kofi? We don't have a lot of small guys in this match. So it would really only be Kofi and Finn and Miz, the smaller guys. Well, Bobby Roode's not really big either, so it kind of be a balanced playing field there.
Yeah.
Especially with the likes of, Braun Strowman is like three people in himself, if you ask me. I mean, the dude is crazy enormous. So it's shaping up to be a really, really, really good match. Let's go ahead and who so far do you like for the W here?
My heart is always going to go for Braun if he's in any match. I'm really happy if anybody. I don't want Miz to win since he's already won it before, and I think he doesn't need this to get the title.
Okay.
It's just his talking to be able to get him to a title run again. I could see somebody like Samoa Joe, if he qualifies, him getting it just to see him, whoever is the champion, and him just walking out, and it's just going to strike fear in whoever the champion is, like, oh shit, Samoa Joe is here, and everybody's like, he's going to get it, he's going to get it. So I would like him to win it, because he hasn't really got no title yet, and he's been most of the time he's been on the main roster, he's been hurt, so you really haven't got to see him run with anything, feud wise or anything. He's been there, he gets hurt, and then he's gone for a little while. So I'm going with Samoa Joe.
Okay, bold prediction. There you go with Samoa Joe. Me personally, yes, I would love for Miz to get a second Money in the Bank briefcase. This will be another accolade that he can add to his future Hall of Fame status. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there right now. I think that he's definitely going to be a future Hall of Famer. I mean, why not? He's got all the... I'm sorry?
I said definitely. Like I've said before, the thing about Miz is, I remember when I first seen him, and I could not stand him. Literally, I hated him so much. And for him to grow on me like he has, his talking, his wrestling, now I'm like, okay, yeah, he is awesome. Is amazing, because I really hated him before.
Okay. Yeah, got a lot of Miz hate there, but it's all right because he's still awesome. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next match. I do apologize. Our next match is going to be the women's Money in the Bank. So far, we've got Ember Moon, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Becky Lynch. We still have 4 women to fill up the rest of this card. Next week, announced so far, is going to be Lana versus Billie Kay. Yeah. I don't know about you, but to me, the Iconics have been nothing but annoying. The whole little... I'm sorry, I cannot help but to say that they are just completely annoying to me. They're kind of loud, obnoxious, but I'm not saying I don't like it. They're doing their job, exactly. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I'm just saying that they are definitely annoying. But hey, to make me not like them, that's definitely working. The whole annoying thing. But so far, this match is shaping up to be rather interesting. What is your takes on this, sir?
With just the few people that's been in it, I can't wait to see who all is in it. I mean, hopefully Billie Kay does come with the win, because, I mean, we already know Lana's not the greatest wrestler, and for them to put her in the Money in the Bank, then it's going to really be like, you know, she's going to be the weak link.
But what happened to Lana is the best. Lana number 1.
That's Lana Rusev beside her. Yes, with Rusev beside her, she's the best. With her by herself, no. But I would like to see. I like to see everybody in it. Once everybody's in it, I can't wait. Then I want to pick who I think should win. Right now.
Go ahead.
Right now, with just the people in it, maybe Becky, because Becky hasn't done really anything in a long time, and she really deserves something, because she lost the title, and it's just been downhill for her. She hasn't been in no major storyline. She hasn't really been important to anything. So I would love for her to win.
I would say that I can agree there. 2017 was not a good year for Becky Lynch. She really wasn't involved in too many storylines, but I think I can agree with you there, sir. And Becky Lynch is definitely the dark horse since being the women's champion. She hasn't really done much of anything since she lost the title. There were some kind of things that they looked like they were going towards, but other than her trying to always help out Naomi or Charlotte for that matter, they haven't done much of anything with the Irish lass kicker. So I definitely see Becky so far being one of the main people that would truly, truly benefit from having the Money in the Bank. What other women do you feel, besides what we already discussed with Billie Kay and Lana, what other women do you feel should get the opportunity to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match? Because remember, we still have 4 spots left. Or 3 spots, not counting Lana or Billie Kay.
Has Peyton Royce fought in any other matches?
Peyton Royce lost to Charlotte.
Okay.
And also Sasha Banks, and Ember Moon and Ruby Riott, they fought, and Ember was the winner there. Alexa Bliss fought Mickie James, and it's escaping Bayley right now. So those are some of the women who have gone, as well as Sonya Rose and Mandy DeVille. They've fought Becky for the spot.
Who else is there?
Could this be a Foxy return? Could this be a Naomi glow moment? I mean,
they could put her, Foxy, if they actually put her in it and she actually was worth, putting her in there and she's just not going to job out to everybody, I would love for her to be in it. Naomi, you could put her in, but I mean, with the people that they don't have in it right now, some of them should be in it more than Naomi. Because Naomi, she's now done a lot of stuff. She's won the title, held the title for a long time. She won the Battle Royal. Wasn't the Battle Royal she won?
The WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. She was the inaugural winner. She's
done a lot now. It's somebody else needs to do something. Like I said, she's done a lot, and like I said before, Becky hasn't done anything. So, trying to think who else they have that would be good.
Well, the thing is, at least Naomi can participate in the match because of the lack of participants at the moment right now. So why not give her at least opportunity to be in there to fight for the Money in the Bank? It doesn't mean that she's going to win, but still the opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, yeah. But there's so many, since they did triple threat matches, and there's 2 people from each show that's not in it. Like I said, Alexa won, that took out Mickie James and Bayley. That's 2 huge names. Now they'll probably have at the end, a battle royal and somebody else to get another chance. But they keep having. I mean, Sasha's not in the match, so that's another huge name that's not in this Money in the Bank. And then I don't know. I would. I mean, anybody. I don't want Charlotte to win because she doesn't have to win Money in the Bank again to get the title. So I'm still going with Becky, somebody who hasn't had it before, but something big needs to happen with Becky.
And yes, I would definitely agree. Something big does need to happen with Becky. But another thing, do you feel like it should be a return of possibly one Nikki Bella or possibly a legend to come back for a little while? We still have 2 other members of the Riot Squad who could possibly go in this alone, like Sarah Logan or Liv Morgan. I don't know how you feel about either one of them two.
Maybe Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan would be. It would be good to see her, the powerhouse, in there. I would like to see that. I don't know how Liv would do in a match like that. I don't know about the Bellas. I don't want the Bellas to come back for that type of match. Again, because I would not want either one of them to win to get a chance to go for the title. A legend, depending on who the legend was. If it was like somebody like Victoria, somebody like that, then yeah. But I don't know how. I think it may have been the only legends we'll see is like they did with the Royal Rumble, how they came out and got their shine for a little bit and then left. I don't know if they're gonna be able to do no ladder match.
Okay. Yeah, a couple of nostalgic runs there for, of course, the Royal Rumble, the first ever women's Royal Rumble. But I don't know. That field's yet to be determined. So we'll just see how they're going to play it out over the next couple weeks. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is keeping with the women. Let's go to the Nia Jax challenging Ronda Rousey for her Raw Women's Championship.
Yes.
I love how Ronda said that she felt that there were other women who deserved that spot more than her.
Yes, she did.
But she still got jumped to the front of the line. A lot of people have been coming down on Ronda, especially saying that she wasn't deserving of it. But when you see something like that, it's like, really,
who cares what other people think? Fact is, it wasn't like she just all of a sudden she was the next challenger. You see Nia Jax challenge her, so it wasn't like they was just in the back and she just got the next pay-per-view. She's the champion or she's gonna be going for the title. You saw Nia Jax call her out, and she said, "No, there's other people in front of me," and she said, "No, I want you." So it can't be like she's gonna. Oh no, I'm not gonna accept it. No, if you came to the Dirty F, you came there to wrestle. You came there to be champion. If the champion challenges you, even if there's other people in front of you, if the champion challenges you, you take that chance. She has to take it. It would look like she's running away from her if she said, no, let other people do it. Let somebody else take that shot. I'm challenging you. No, I'll just let somebody else take it. She can't just back down from a challenge. So, I mean, if it would have been, just all of a sudden the next pay-per-view, Ronda Rousey fighting Nia Jax, if that would have happened and they hadn't had no interaction with each other, then it was, they just in the back and they just made the match. No build or no nothing. But you saw her challenge her for it. So you're like, okay, well, she called her out. So you can't say no to it. You can't be like, okay, well, no, I'm not gonna accept it. Somebody else's turn.
Well, not only did she call her out, but she called her out on the red carpet. So it wasn't like it was just backstage, like you were saying. She called her out at an outside event. And
she was looking beautiful. Nia, good God.
And of course, that is very true. But when you also have the daughter of the only two-time Hall of Famer in your ear telling you to go for it, you kind of have to go for it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like you said, you had Charlotte Flair standing there saying, "Go for it." I'm like, okay, so she was supposed to tell me that she's supposed to challenge her for a thing, and she's like, no. And then Charlotte Flair's like, "Come on, you can do it. Go on and go for it." No, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to fight her. Are you serious? No. You came in that business. I don't care if it's your first day. If the champion challenges you, you take that challenge. You don't back down. You don't back down. You don't say, "Oh, never mind. I'll wait till somebody else gets a couple of times." No. She challenged you. It's your time.
Exactly.
And, like I said, internet gonna say whatever they want, but she was challenged. She accepted the challenge. You ain't gonna just back down from it.
When I first saw this ad break on WWE.com, I was at work and I was like, okay, well, she's still a little green. But then the more I heard about it and the more I actually read the article, it said that Nia challenged her. That completely changes my opinion on this whole match. I mean, I'm anxious to see how they're going to do. I'm anxious to see Ronda in her second match on pay-per-view. I mean, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. I mean, Nia even said that she demanded competition, so she went out to seek the baddest woman on the planet. So why not go for it?
I mean, nobody complained when Gail Kim showed up on the first night and won the women's title. So
as well as Paige.
And as well as Paige. Paige, at least Gail, we had no clue who she was. You know, that was before NXT and anybody even had seen her. She just popped up, won the title. And it wasn't like, oh, how she jumped in front of the line. She came out there, challenged her, and won the title. Paige did the same thing. We did know her from NXT, but she challenged her. She accepted the challenge. Boom, she won. So, bam. If she jumped in front of the line, then that means that everybody else who was supposed to be in the front of the line, now you just got to go to Ronda and fight. And not Nia, if she wins. But literally, there really isn't nobody, especially on Raw, there's not another woman that's going to challenge Nia. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Sasha, all of them she's already beaten. So who else is there? Bring back Alicia Fox.
The Riot Squad.
Yeah. And the only person who would be is going to be Ruby. So
yeah,
if none of them are going to challenge her, then she has nobody else. And everybody, and don't get me wrong, if she challenges her in this match, don't act like you don't remember that this is Money in the Bank. So don't believe that the Money in the Bank match is not going to happen before that match. So somebody else could win the Money in the Bank and jump right in front of Ronda Rousey. So she can jump right in front of her, just like Carmella. You could say Carmella jumped right in front of people because she wasn't really going for nothing. She won the Money in the Bank, but she jumped in front of everybody just to get it. So does she deserve it over some of the other people there? She won Money in the Bank, so yes, she does. Sometimes you don't wait. Sometimes you're not going to have to wait, years for this person to get a chance. I mean, I bet you there's a lot of people who, when Braun Strowman was going for Brock, wanted Braun Strowman to win. I bet you there's a lot of people who deserved it more than him or have been there longer than him, but nobody would have been mad if Braun would have won.
That is true.
No matter how fast he'd been there, people would have been like, I would have loved to see him win. But what about Bray? What about Miz? What about all these other people? I don't care. If Braun would have won, I would have been happy. Everybody would have been happy. But he jumped in front of everybody.
Oh, well, that's how the ball bounces sometimes, and we do things that we got to do. But I don't want to spend too much time on that because I know we still got a lot of things I want to go over here. So let's go ahead and jump to the other side of the women's championships. Exactly. On SmackDown, we have Carmella getting called out by Paige to fight Asuka.
Oh gosh.
For the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. She was bragging about how she beat Charlotte Flair twice. She beat Charlotte twice during her royal celebration just to get rained on by Paige. And have Asuka is her new challenger. What are your takes on this?
It's Asuka. I mean, it's Asuka versus anybody. And Asuka versus Carmella. Carmella, I love her. She's funny. She's a great bad girl. She's very charismatic. but that's Asuka. Uh, I mean, there's nothing much more to say. That's Asuka, and
only Charlotte was ready for Asuka.
Yes, and Charlotte was barely ready for Asuka. And if they had to go again, and when Asuka fights normal, she wouldn't have, because the matches we've seen Asuka fight before was a lot longer, and she took a lot more punishment than she did in the match with Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Carmella's gonna have to pull something out. She's gonna have to moonwalk and do something to keep that title.
Trash talk. And she does still have champion's advantage. Let's not forget that part.
Yeah, she's gonna have to use it as soon as that bell rings. Because if she tries to kick her, or she does anything, she's gonna get caught with a kick, or she get caught in that one of her many submissions, and that could be it.
Yep, that is very, very, very true. I mean, Carmella really is on thin ice here. The only thing that she does have is the champion's advantage in this match, because I don't see any other way that she can cleanly beat Asuka.
No.
A clean victory? Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is going to be a very, very, very short-lived match. This is going to be a very short-lived feud. Yes, you might get a rematch, but right now, I'm banking on Asuka.
Yes. Safe bet is going to always be on Asuka.
Yeah, that's right. Other than, like I said, other than her getting disqualified intentionally or doing something with the champion's advantage, that's the only way that Carmella can secure her victory. So let's move right along. Let's keep with SmackDown right now. So going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So now we get the fourth match between Nakamura and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Nakamura and AJ Styles fought on SmackDown, and Nakamura gets to choose the stipulation now, due to his impending victory, on what's going to be the next match. Which match would you like to see, and why?
Which match? Honestly, I would love for them to show really what they can do against each other, and not the low blows and all that crap. If they really had what they could do, an Iron Man or like a 2 out of 3 falls match. Because I don't care to see them in any kind of hardcore, any of that stuff. I want to just see them wrestle. And an Iron Man, 30-minute Iron Man, or a 2 out of 3 falls would be a great way to showcase them just purely wrestling.
Okay.
What about? Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, I definitely don't want... These are a couple of the matches I do not want. Let me go ahead and just say that. No bullshit flag on a pole match.
I swear that is the worst match in wrestling history. I can't stand those matches.
No, what's the one where they drag each other around and have to tap all 4 corners?
Bull rope match.
No. Exactly. It was that insignificant. I definitely don't want to see that.
That's usually going to have to be against a Texan and a Mexican or something when they do those types.
I know. I'm just saying. I could go for an I Quit match. But
now, yeah. Maybe an I Quit match. Yeah, okay. 2 more matches I may take. An I Quit match or or maybe a Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing or First Blood.
Oh, they ain't going. First Blood, I never liked those matches because it always made them like they was trying to cover up their face more than normal. And I'm like, half of them don't get bloodied ever, especially now. So it make it look like they were just trying to cover their face the entire time. But if they did an Iron Man where they were just not using weapons, just beating the hell out of each other, and until one of them just knocked the other one out, something like that would be good.
I definitely agree. There's so many different stipulations that can be done here. I don't think I really need to see like a tables match or an Extreme Rules, maybe an Extreme Rules. I don't know, but it's got to be something. It's definitely going to be something that's no disqualifications, because they just had a regular no DQ match and it was a double count out. False count anywhere. I don't really see this match being one of those where it needs to be a false count anywhere.
Not with them
no holds barred, maybe. Maybe. I didn't say yes. I said maybe. There's a lot of different ways they can spin it, but if we do a I Quit match, then all Nakamura has to just keep saying is no speak English.
Yeah, and that would be really hot, because when they bring it up to a place where they no speak English, it'll just be so funny. You're like, say I quit. He'd be like, I don't speak it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, no speak English.
I love that he started using that phrase, because everybody was talking about how he couldn't talk when he's, doing an interview and everything. Which he can talk if they don't have like a script for him to say. He can talk, and he can talk enough that you can understand him. But with them trying to get him to say certain stuff, he can't say it, or it takes him even longer to say it. But if you just let him talk, you would have to listen more than normal people. But you just listen to him, you could understand him. Just like Asuka, she can talk English. It's just when they get her to do whatever they want her to say, that's when it makes it seem like she can't speak English. He can't speak English as well, and it makes it harder for you to have to listen to them.
Which I find absolutely hilarious when they have him doing this role. I think that is great. Is great with the heel turn. Is great with the new music that you can't understand unless you speak Japanese. Yeah. So
I really couldn't wait for him to turn heel, because when I seen him in Japan, I saw him as a heel, and I was just like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. And he's just cocky and arrogant and stuff, and that's what I wanted to see. I was like, I know, brought him here, and he was a great good guy, but especially going against AJ, I'm like, this is perfect for him to turn bad. And I've been waiting for, with AJ finally a good guy, because I'm like, AJ needs to be the face. AJ is a good bad guy, but he's just so good as the face. After all those years of TNA, he was so good as a face, and now that he can talk. Before he was the face, he just couldn't talk as well. Now he can talk and stuff too. It's just perfect for, him to go against Nakamura and Nakamura being the bad guy.
I mean, of course, he's the face that runs the place. I mean, this is AJ Styles. We're in the house that AJ Styles built.
He is truly phenomenal.
I will definitely agree there. This is going to be a very, very interesting match. So hopefully we will finally get a conclusion to this quote unquote dream match series that they've made almost a nightmare, because they keep on calling it a dream match.
Hopefully we finally get the dream match that we've been waiting for, and they finally do the all out dream that we've been waiting for, and not just we can't wait to see this dream match, and then they just keep messing it up and like, okay, where's the match that we've been waiting on?
Exactly. My point exactly. So speaking of dreams, this is for me a dream boat. Then again, it is also for you too when I bring up this next name. Andrade Cien Almas finally made his in-ring debut in London with Zelina Vega at his head.
Yes, I am hoping for big things for him. If this, I forgot about him, put him in the Money in the Bank. I want him to win. I love Cien Almas. I remember when he first started NXT and I saw him and he was the jobber and I'm like, this guy is really, really good. I kept seeing him do all these amazing moves and then lose. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? I like this guy. Then he turned bad. I'm like, come on, why are they not using him? And then they finally brought Zelina and I'm like, okay, now they're finally showing how he is really, really good. I'm like, I really, really was high on him ever since I first seen him, and now he finally got the top of NXT, and now he's finally on the main roster. I hope that they use him right, and hope that they keep them both together.
Oh, I definitely see them being a tandem for a long time to come. This match, we got to see a little bit of what Andrade Cien Almas can do. I mean, it's your debut match, so of course he wrestled a hometown gent from England. I do not remember his name, obviously, because this was a squash match just to debut the raw intensity that is Il Idolo with the beautiful Miss Zelina Vega. I see great things happening for him. And no, unfortunately, he will not be participating in the men's Money in the Bank. However, there is a spot that they have yet to announce anything with. Could he just go ahead and jump straight for a United States title opportunity? Because if it's open, why not?
True. Who is the champion now?
The champion is one Mr. Jeff Hardy, who right now is not. Yes, right, Brother Nero. He is not doing anything.
And that would be an amazing match with them two. That would be the perfect person.
Oh, yes. The proven veteran, the master of the Swanton Bomb, one Mr. Jeff Hardy would definitely be a great spot for him to come on against. However, I'm not sure if Jeff Hardy is still in a feud with Orton or Shelton Benjamin. I do not know. They haven't talked much about either of those as the Backlash ended. So I don't know where they're going to go through with Jeff, or on the other side of the picture, who they're going to pair with for Seth. I'm sorry, just the names around so much, so I had to go back and forth between Jeff and Seth. Who's he going to fight for his IC title on Raw?
I think I saw something that he was going to start doing an open challenge. I think he said it on Twitter or something that he was going to start doing an open challenge.
Okay, so he's doing the same thing with the IC that Cena was doing with the US, bringing back the open challenge. I love the open challenges.
I liked it when it was Cena doing it. I don't like. It was cool when Cena did it because I mean he basically, it was like a main event person winning the 16-time champion coming down, winning the lower title. So, he was doing an open challenge to give everybody a chance. Seth is now trying to get back up so he can keep winning world titles. I want somebody to start a feud. I want somebody to be in a feud with him for the title, not just have open challenge where he just fights different people. I love to see the matches, but I want an actual person to attack him, to challenge him, a storyline to where they have a feud going for the title, and not just I'll just do random people and random people until one person either beats me or we fight a random person at a pay-per-view.
Well, then again, do you think that Dean Ambrose is ready to make his return and come back and challenge Seth as a heel? Because that right there already has history.
I'm not sure if I have to look it up. I know they were saying, I know they said he wouldn't make WrestleMania, but I'm thinking they were saying he wouldn't be able to come back till like either late summer or early fall. If he came back as a heel, yes, I would love for Dean to do that because he needs to come back as a heel. It's the
Chris, can we get a fact check on that, please? Chris, if you have the opportunity, can you please get us a fact check on the possibility of Dean Ambrose returning? I'm sorry, you can continue, Mr. VIP. Please do continue.
Yes, if Dean came back as a heel, yes, I would love that because they can start their whole. He can do the whole thing where you didn't call me, you didn't have anything to do, you didn't call to see how I was doing or nothing, and I was sitting there at the home by myself and blah blah blah. He can do that. Yes, if he comes back and he's like, I'm sitting here and I'm at home and I'm suffering and you're sitting here, getting bigger and better and everything is coming to you now. Now you missed a big shot and I've been sitting at home. I missed WrestleMania. I missed this. I missed that. So now I come to take everything back from you. Yes, I would love for that. Okay, good. So
Chris just came in with the fact check on that,
thank you.
He'll be around midsummer, possibly SummerSlam, possibly earlier. We don't know for sure, so keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, if they did a mysterious build to where like somebody is sending him messages or somebody's somehow doing something to him where you don't see who the person is, and they keep sending stuff keep happening to him, and then all of a sudden he has a mystery opponent, and then it becomes all of a sudden it's Dean, and since they were like, Dean isn't supposed to be back for 3 more months, so it can't be him. Maybe it's this person, or maybe it's this person, and then somehow they get everybody to think that he's not going to be coming, and then it comes out to be him. Then it would be good, yes. But Dean has to come back as a bad guy because I was so sick of him being there as this good guy he's been since he's been there, and been waiting for him to turn heel the entire time. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but the best thing for him, if he comes back in a good way, is him being hurt and being gone for a while so he can refresh and come back bigger, badder, and better.
Oh, so you want him to refresh and come back, reimagine, redesign, reclaim. Oh, wait a second. That was Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I mean, Dean had just gotten so stale, and it had just gotten so boring of seeing him. Every time he came out, you just like, oh, it's Dean again. It wasn't really doing anything, and especially him being the whole good guy. You needed him to turn bad, and it just everything you kept saying, okay, when is he going to turn? This is the perfect time. He needs to come back with something fresh. And I mean, if he attacks Seth, he attacks Roman, or something. Just something bad needs to happen when he comes back. He needs to make a big impact because that is a huge, top tier guy that's been gone for a long time. So it's going to be really big, and it should be a real big deal when he returns. I don't want them to say when he's going to return. I just want him to pop up. Don't say Dean Ambrose is coming back in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. He just pops up out of nowhere. Somebody gets attacked, and all of a sudden takes off the thing, turns around or whatever, and it's Dean. And you like, oh shoot, just a complete surprise, because that's how Dean would do it. His character isn't going to tell you he coming in 3 weeks. His character will be, he just pops up out of nowhere. He's crazy. He's just going to pop up out of nowhere and attack somebody.
Okay, so kind of like the whole, when Chris Jericho came back is Save Us. coming 222 or the second coming 222, all the times in which Jericho has came back, it's been mysterious little vignettes just popping up. Nothing else, just some random words. So you're like, who in the world is this?
I don't even want him to do that. I don't, unless he's done like he writes something like in graffiti in the back or something. If he did something like that, because that's more like Dean. If Seth is leaving or some graffiti is written on his car or some graffiti is on a wall or something like that, and he's like, what the hell? Or something in the locker rooms tore up, and he's like, you know, what the hell is going on? But it does. I don't want no vignette. I don't want no thing showing him coming back or anything. I just want him to be mysterious stuff happening to Seth, and he don't know. And it would be good if they could play it off to be like it's somebody else. Like play it off to like where people think it's Finn, and people think everybody is Finn's turning heel. And then like he and somehow they keep thinking like Finn keeps popping up right after it happens, and he's like, you know, what the hell are you doing, man? And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know, every time something happens, you're right there. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then Seth gets mad at Finn, and they start fighting or whatever, just because everybody's thinking, oh shoot, Finn is about to turn bad, and then Swerve, all of a sudden Dean comes out, or Dean attacks him back.
Interesting.
Or he's like in the back, and he's about to go to the ring, and somebody attacks him, and all Seth seen was a black jacket, and he was like, you know, it looked like a jacket you wear. And he was like all mad at Finn because he was like, I saw somebody with a jacket jump me, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no. And he was, I didn't do it or whatever, forgetting that, so does, you know, Dean wear a jacket. And they could be like, oh, he just saw a jacket, didn't know what it was. Now, instead of blue and all this stuff, he's wearing black. But it was actually him that attacked him and set it off to where somebody else is getting the blame for what's going on.
All right. I like the way you think, sir. I like the way you think. All right. Next topic of conversation. This is a very interesting conversation. We are going to talk about a former star who was on a pretty good hot streak before they had a little slip up there. Enzo Amore has been cleared of all charges.
The guy in the room. Mm-hmm.
The oldest looking guy in the room, if you've seen the post at the Game Runners, you can see him without the beard, and he looks quite like he's been having a rough time since he's been released. I will say that it could be a possibility for WWE to bring him back. I'm not sure, but I did want to, let the fans know that the realest guy in the room could once again possibly, maybe, don't bank on it, I'm not sure. Swerves and curves coming at you though, but he could possibly come back to the WWE now that his name has been cleared and it's been proven that way. What are your takes on this?
First and foremost, when it first broke, I always kept saying, I swear, I never believed that he did that. I mean, I said before, he was dating Liv Morgan, all the other women that you see pictures with him, and I'm like, I seen the girl that he supposedly raped. I'm like, why? If you can honestly get Liv Morgan and other women like that, why the hell would you go for this girl? And I just kept saying, listening to her, all what she was saying, I was like, I just don't believe he would mess up. I mean, yeah, his lifestyle was crazy. He spent money. He did all of this stuff. But I just didn't think that he would be that stupid to do something like that, and which would mess up his entire life. He lived his character a lot, but I didn't think he was that kind of person. And then to hear the news that he was cleared, I'm like, thank you, good. I'm very happy for that. I'm glad for him. Do I think he'll be brought back? Yeah, he will. He definitely will. They may wait you know, a little bit because they say, you know, you didn't tell us about this, but they will bring him back. He was too big of a star, too much of a moneymaker, too much of a shit talker to not be brought back. And like I said, he didn't get fired because of the rape charge. He got fired because he didn't tell them that there was a rape charge pending against him. So that was what he got fired for. So he would definitely be back. You know, like I said, don't know when. May not be this year, but in the next couple of years, he'll probably be brought back.
The realest guy in the room definitely could once again be the realest guy in the locker room as long as he learned some locker room respect. I think that was another thing that really didn't help his situation, because respect is a big thing back there, and him getting kicked off the tour bus, maybe he has taken the time and kind of like re-evaluated his situations, and hopefully he's grown from this experience. But either way, we wish him all the best.
He's got to be him. That's his whole, you know, there's a lot of people that didn't get along with the locker room, and he's not the first, it won't be the last. I mean, you know, it was just that the character that he played on TV is how he really is in real life all the time. He was just annoying to people. But there was other people that were hated. Ultimate Warrior was hated by everybody in the back because he was weird and different. CM Punk was hated by everybody in the back. A lot of people didn't like Orton. So there's a lot of people that weren't, got kicked off the thing or wasn't everybody's cup of tea, if you will.
Big Cass, the same thing. There's definitely been a lot of stuff with Big Cass as well, not feeling welcome in the locker room, and we're just going to leave it like that. This is not a show about politics, and you voted for who you voted for. We're not going to go down that road, and he's been very vocal about his stance and his support, but that's not this show, and we're not going to go down that road. Some of us make mistakes, all right? But moving right along. I wish the best for Enzo on that situation, and it says he's been cleared. I hope that maybe sometime down the road that he could possibly come back to WWE. But until then, I hope he just gets. He's
already said that he's got some future endeavors. He's got some entertainment stuff that he's about to announce. So he's already got some stuff in the works that he's about to do, and he was like he's gonna let his fans know. So he will soon start spreading the word. Whatever he's gonna do next. Hopefully it ain't going to TNA, that crap, or something like that. But if it's probably wrestling, it probably will be TNA will probably spend a couple of $2 that they have left to get him to come there, like they did with Rich Swann, and be up there for a couple of days until they run out of money again. And stop paying them.
They love to pick up scraps. So let's go ahead and let's move right along to the next subject. I also wanted to talk about a signing, since we did just talk about a released person. Talk about a signing of Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. For those of you who are not familiar with those two names, they are the other two of the 4 horsewomen of UFC who have just recently been signed to WWE contracts, which is great. This is absolutely great. This is a great power play. You already have NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, who is completely dominant right now in NXT, and then you also have Ronda Rousey, who's about to possibly become the next Raw Women's Champion, and then having the 4 horsewomen back together of UFC in WWE, and we already have a 4 horsewomen stable.
We do.
Ooh.
We do.
Ooh, what are your thoughts?
This possibly could be a dream match or matches. I don't know how the other 2 girls are in the ring. I'm hoping that they take to it like Baszler has and Ronda has. I hope they become really good in the ring, because if they turn out to be really good, then the possibilities with all four of them there, and then them going against the four horsewomen of WWE, are just amazing. I mean, the one-on-one matches with any combination of the 8, and then the 4-on-4 8-woman match that they could have. I mean,
Survivor Series would be the perfect time for that.
Survivor Series, War Games.
Yes.
It is, the possibilities are endless of how much you could do. I mean, and like I said, they had, you know, they did so much in the women, the Mae Young Classic, to every time that Shayna Baszler would be there, that the other four horsewomen and both of them would be there, and they do a stare off, and you know, it's just like, oh, they just kept feeding the fire, kept feeding it, and it could blow up, and it could be great. It could be some amazing matches to come if the other two turn out to be really good, and if Ronda keeps improving. Baszler is amazing. She's got the character, she's got the ability. So if all of them work together,
she's got the look too.
She's got the look, everything. So if they all work to making it like what she's done, it is going to be some matches, and it's going to be some great things to come.
A funny note about this, they are doing a second Mae Young Classic, so maybe we'll get a chance to see what they're going to do, possibly in the Mae Young Classic Part 2, since the first one was such a huge success, and this is where we were introduced to Shayna Baszler in the WWE arena. So let's see if Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir will be included in that, as well as possibly another horsewoman, the original horsewoman. She was in the first Mae Young Classic. I really feel that Tessa Blanchard needs to come, because you can't have the four horsemen without Tully Blanchard. In my opinion, you can't have the four horsewomen without Tessa.
Very true, very true. The only problem with that now is she's signed with that darn TNA. So that's the only downfall of that. But yeah, I totally agree that Tessa, she don't need to go through the tournament again. She should be signed to a full-time contract. I mean, she had already wrestled on NXT multiple times, and then she had pretty much the best match of the whole tournament, which JR repeatedly said multiple times. So she should have been signed. I can't figure out why anybody else was signed before her, but she definitely needs to be signed to WWF. But yeah, they definitely need her.
Out about 16 years ago.
I know,
I just had to remind you there.
I still have to put the F in. Anybody knows? The F was out a long time ago, but I still have to call it that, because I never liked calling the champion the WWE champion. I remember back in the day when people would say I'm the World Wrestling Federation champion. Now you have to say I'm the WWE champion. It just doesn't seem so. It doesn't seem as impactful as World Wrestling Federation champion. But yes, WWE. But yeah, I hope after TNA loses money and they can't pay for Tessa, she finally comes to WWE.
I completely agree with you there. I'm glad that you are actually agreeing with me on this one about having Miss Blanchard come, and it could just be a great, great series with the four horsewomen of NXT and the four horsewomen of WWE, so to speak. I'm sorry, I messed that up there, but the four horsewomen of UFC versus the four horsewomen of WWE. And either way it goes, whichever four is going to end up fighting, I hope the best for Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. I hope that they are ready for Charlotte. That's all I got to say about that. Well, we already know that Ronda is possibly ready for Charlotte. Maybe. Only time will tell on that.
Yeah.
So, the next topic of conversation while we're down in NXT, I know that there has been some great debuts in NXT. And speaking of somebody being stolen from TNA, or Impact Wrestling, whatever their name is this week, Global Force, I have no idea. But the debut match happened last week of one Mr. Ethan Carter III, or NX3 EC3. I had to throw in the NX3 there. I'm sorry, I love that. He is the top 1% of wrestling right there. The man, that guy came back, reinvented himself. This character works so well for him.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he was able to keep his name when he debuted, because that is a lot better than Derek Bateman with curly hair.
God, yes.
It is a definite must-have makeover that happened there. I think that he is going to be a great heel. I was excited when he was in the North American Championship match. I mean, that was his actual debut, but this was his first match in NXT on the weekly episodic show. He did fight Raul Mendoza. So it wasn't like he was a complete jobber. He did come out and interrupt him when he was making his actual debut on the show, period. He took his spotlight. So I like how they continue to let him fight the same person that he interrupted in the first place to come out to talk and then come out and wrestle his first match in the ring against him. What are your takes on EC3?
EC3, I'm hoping he looked like he could be a big force. He's got the look. I mean, he's big as hell. I think he's like 200, 291, something like that. I'm like, oh my God, he's jacked. He's a character. He can talk. He has charisma, which if anybody has seen him as Derek Bateman knows that he has character, goofy and everything. And just the fact now that he went somewhere else, he got released, went somewhere else, made a great character, got into even better shape, got bigger, got pumped, cut that damn hair, and came up with this whole character of being Dixie's nephew, and then, to able to come back still using that character. And now he's the top 1%, the top 1% this, top 1% this. It is a great character. He has a great look. He has the kind of look. He has main event type looks. And, as long as he keeps, hopefully, doesn't get hurt or nothing and makes it to the main roster, I mean, I see instantly them wanting to use him and do stuff big with him because he has that look. He has that wow, he has that superstar look to him, that will automatically make you want to see him, see what he can do, see him in the ring, see him fight against some of the other big time talent. And I'm hoping for big things for him.
And not to mention the fact that he even said in an interview that he would love to face one Mr. John Cena.
Put him in.
I would definitely pay for that.
Yes. And the one thing is they can't say, I mean, he is a WWE person. I mean, he came from WWE. They released him, but he is one of their creations, really. They started him off. He went somewhere else to change characters, but he is one of their own. So, yeah. I mean, just to see him, he's saying I'm the top 1%, talking to Cena and like, I'm bigger, better than you are. It's time for you to go on and retire. It's time for the young boys to come out here. It's time for the new class. You were good, but you were never part of the top 1%. I mean, he looks like a mythical deity, if you will, and just to sit there and see him pose down and be like, look at you, little man, to Cena and other people, seeing him in matches with Seth and AJ and everybody. I really, really see big things for him.
I definitely concur, sir. I mean, this is why I brought you here on the show. This has definitely made Marking Out Amongst Friends a great, great, great experience to have. But we're not over yet. We still got a little bit more. Wait, sir, there is some more, because we got a glimpse of what I think can be the next feud of the year on NXT. We had just a small sample of Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream.
The Velveteen Dream.
This had all the makings of instant classic written all over it. It was counters back and forth. I mean, just them in the ring talking together. I didn't know how well that Ricochet was going to be when he first came to talking. I know he's excellent in the ring. There's no doubt about that. There was never any question there.
Yes, yes.
But to continue the feud that they had and stem it from the North American Championship ladder match, they all got their spots. And just the fact that those two together, they did really, really, really stand out to me during that match. And I'm glad that they are continuing to have that same intensity, that same fire. And even though that match, we're a couple months removed from TakeOver New Orleans, TakeOver Chicago, but looks like it could be shaping up pretty nicely. And just these two together, they're going to be fighting Lars Sullivan next week on NXT in a handicap match. I love them working together. I love them working apart. Just these two right here, it's like bread and butter. It goes so well together.
Yes, yes. These two, like, I have been waiting on Ricochet to come to WWE for so long. Like, I've seen him in all these matches on Independence, and I was like, this guy is amazing. Why don't they bring him? And, you know, they had the UK tournament, I mean, the Cruiserweight tournament, all this stuff, and I was like, why don't they have Ricochet? This guy is amazing. I kept saying, this guy is so amazing. And every time they wouldn't bring him or he wouldn't come for something, then I see another match of his on Independence. I'm like, oh, my God. And then they finally brought him, and I was like, I cannot wait to see what he do. Now, like you said, I didn't know if he could talk. And I was like, I've never heard him talk, and that's one thing with independent wrestlers that are really huge on the independents. You know, they're really great in the ring, and a lot of people love their in-ring abilities because they're amazing in the ring. That doesn't mean that they are great on the mic.
I concur, because especially when Mr. Daniel Bryan in the beginning was this incredible, incredible wrestler that had no personality.
Yes. And see, go ahead. That's the thing with a lot of independent wrestlers, is that everybody watches all these, things with people on the internet, and they see these wrestlers and they're like, oh my God, these guys are incredible, how incredible they are. yes, they can wrestle. They are amazing in the ring. They just, but people love them because of all, they only see them here and there, and they just see their matches. But when you try to build a story behind them, or you bring them to the WWE, you try to build a story around them, well, they can't talk. So it's like, and it's funny, like you said with Daniel Bryan. I remember when Daniel Bryan came and they put him with Miz, and everybody's like, how dare they put him with Miz? He's got years and years and years of more charisma. More wrestling ability than him, and why are they gonna put him with him? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, he has years of experience wrestling, but he can't talk. He looks like the most normal guy that you just see at the grocery store. Nothing about him would make you want to see him as anything more than just a normal guy. If you see him, if you just turn on your TV screen and you see Batista on the screen and you're like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's huge. He's tattooed, all this stuff. And then the next time you turn on the TV and you see Daniel Bryan and you're like, oh, who is this small guy in brown trunks or burgundy trunks? And that's it. When you have to have something to grab somebody's attention when they first see him. So, he started doing the yes and the no. He started growing the beard out. He started growing the hair out. Something to at least make him look different or have something different. And like I said, with Ricochet, that's the first time really getting to hear him talk. And yeah, he could talk. He talked pretty well, for his first time at it or whatever. And he did really well going against the Velveteen Dream, who has completely blown up in a character that I don't think anybody ever would have thought would have made such an impact as it has. Because I remember when they first brought him out as Patrick Clark, and he came out as the All-American wearing red, white, and blue. And then the next time they brought him out as the Prince character, I don't think they had a name for him, but he came out one time as that character, and then he went away again, and then came back like normal again. And then they started building this thing to where they're going to bring him back as this character, the Velveteen Dream. And I was like, oh, come on. This character's not going to work. He's not going to be able to do it. They're not going to use it right. It's just going to be a Goldust type thing. He's going to be really good on a debut match and a couple matches after that. And then he's going to turn into a comedic role. And just to see how the audience has just gravitated to him. He's getting a huge response every time he comes out, and he's doing the character, and he's doing a lot with the character that I'm like, wow, people are liking him, and no matter how flamboyant and all the stuff he is, they love it. And he keeps coming out with more original stuff, keep wearing original stuff, different clothes, the glasses, all of this stuff. The stuff he does, he lays on the floor, the stuff he did where he had the big bulky guy holding his mouthpiece. And the storylines that he's doing, I just want you to give me respect, just say my name. All of this stuff has built a character that they love. And to see them two go at it is going to be really, really an amazing ride. And like, if they want to do anything you can do, I can do better, which seems like that might be what they're trying to go for. It is going to be so good to see. And like they could have the match next week, the handicap match. Ricochet is going to do some amazing move, and then Velveteen is going to do some amazing move. And all right, you top that. And they just doing moves to Lars or whatever, and trying to see who could do the better move, or and just trying out different stuff or whatever. And then Lars probably gonna crush him, since he's supposed to be the big monster. But it's really, I can't wait to see where they go with them two. And whoever gets to go for the championship, to see them against Aleister Black. Oh, there's going to be some amazing stuff happening.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, there's going to be some amazing things happening with NXT. They just have so much talent down there, and they just keep bringing more talent, and the talent that was down there starts shining and showing how really, amazing they really are. I mean, because, Patrick Clark has been down there for a little while, and then all of a sudden he got this character and just blew up. Far better than anybody could have ever hoped.
This character is so unique and so original. I mean, it is just like when Goldust made his first appearance. I'm glad that they didn't make him like Orlando Jordan, the Velveteen Dream I'm referring to, that is. I'm so glad that they didn't make him like Orlando Jordan in the past. And yeah, that was just a nightmare. But I'm glad that Velveteen has been embraced. He is a great performer, and he's doing this character so well. And like you said, many times he's come out with the different colored tights, and he always has his opponent on his tights, and it's just like the mind games back and forth. It's great.
He's bringing a lot of old school that we haven't seen. He's bringing the Rabbits and Rick Rude, the original Goldust, and all of this into a character. I remember hearing an interview on something, and somebody said that they saw him in this character, and he was so convinced that they didn't even know who he was. And then he like said who he was, and they were like, wait a minute. He's like, I've known Patrick Clark for a long time, but I didn't know who he was as this character. And and he was another wrestler, and he was like, I've known this guy for a long time, and to see him in this character just completely, I didn't even know he was the same guy. He was Patrick Clark. So that shows y'all, like, this dude is really, I mean, he's embraced his character. He's, like I said, he keeps coming up with different looks. His character is somebody who never would be wearing the same clothes, never be wearing the same attire, so he's got his hair different ways. He's got different shades, different glasses. He's got different clothes on, different everything. Every time he comes out, he's wearing something different. Every time he wrestles, he's wearing something different. So that all adds on to his character of, this flamboyant prince type character. And he's running with this character.
Well, he took the ball, he ran, he slam dunked completely. He just won the Sprite Slam Dunk Contest of the year with this character. I mean, like, he is amazing. And I just want to give him his props too, because of the fact that nobody, when I first saw this character come out, I had no idea what he was capable of or how good he was going to be. Or, I mean, just seeing him walk out and doing this extra, I'm like, okay, what in the world is this?
And the truth, like, I didn't really like him as Patrick Clark. I was like, okay, yeah, I didn't really see him as being really that good. So I was like, whatever. And then they was like, bring him out as All-American. Then they bring him out as his character, one time, and I'm like, whatever, he'll be fired soon. He ain't nothing. And then to see him completely turn into the Velveteen Dream, and I didn't get to watch NXT for a little while, so I hadn't got to see him. But I remember the pay-per-view was about to come up where he was about to fight Aleister, and I was like, well, let me try to catch up a little bit. And I watched the interview where he was like sitting on the floor. I forgot the girl who was interviewing him, but he was sitting on the floor and he cut a promo, and I was like, wow, the promo he cut, I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. He was like, you're looking down on me, that's how Aleister Black is. I was like, that's how Aleister Black is looking down on me. He doesn't believe in me and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, wow. And then he stood up. He's like, I'm gonna make him see eye to eye with me. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. That is a great promo. So, and that immediately made me, I was like, okay, I've got to see this match. I've got to see this Velveteen Dream. And then when I seen the match, I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, this guy is raw. This is amazing. I like him.
I believe that also was the match that won Match of the Year in NXT last year. I am not sure if Chris can give us a fact check on that, but just the whole acknowledgement. He didn't want anything other than just some respect. All he wanted was for Aleister Black to acknowledge him, just to put some respect on his name. Put some respect on it.
And like I've been saying, with WWE for a while, the storylines have been so stale. It has been so, hey, I'm a bad guy. I attacked you. You attacked me. I'm attack you a couple of times. You attack me back. We're gonna fight at a pay-per-view. There's no reason I attack you. It's just I'm bad, so I just come attack you. There's no build to nothing. There's no real reason that they're fighting. It's just I'm bad. I attack you. I just come up there, just random stuff that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, where's the storylines that they used to have? Where, you know, even though people get tired of it, the storyline with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, at least you had, you know, they could show pictures when they were, you know, before they came to WWE. They can show pictures. They can say they did this together. They did this together. They did this. And then they build a story like, you know, they had a friendship and then Kevin Owens broke it and all of this stuff. It builds something. So they have a background to it. Every time they do something now, this is a bad guy. He attacks him. He's a good guy. He gets attacked. And we keep going back and forth, but there's no real story behind it. And with the whole Velveteen, it's not, he wasn't attacking Aleister because he was a bad guy. He was attacking him because he wasn't giving him respect. And I mean, like, wow, all I said, you know, even in the storyline played out, the entire match, they did the whole match, everything happened, and then at the end, he lost the match, and then he finally said his name, and he was like, I got what I wanted. I lost the match, but still, you respected me enough to say my name. Bam. And I'm like, this whole storyline played it. He never said, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to kill you, you know, I'm going to stomp you to the ground. I just want you to respect me. And at the end, he still won and still got that. I'm like, that was a storyline that you don't usually see. Same thing with like the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. It's a storyline that you don't normally see. Finally, something that has some oomph to it, some base to it, something that has a build to it. You know, back in the day, you used to have the Macho Man and Hogan, and this whole thing to the Mega Powers and how they exploded. You had a whole long story of how this blew up, and you could show stuff that happened and show little things that happened, little instances, you know. And now it's just, hey, I'm a bad guy. I come attack you. You're a good guy. You get attacked. You now come back and get me. We fight at the pay-per-view. Then some random other person I start fighting next Monday. No storyline, no nothing. It's just, hey, I'm just going to attack. You're attacking. You know, I'm like, come on. That's why everybody's like, you know, it's boring. It's all this stuff because you don't have any stories. Everybody loved the Attitude Era because at least, they had the whole sex and violence and all that stuff, but they had better stories. Everybody had a story. You know, you remember the stuff that Stone Cold and them did, but you still also remember the stuff that happened with Val Venus. You still remember the choppy TP thing. All of that stuff, storylines from top to bottom. You still remember Big Boss Man cooking Al Snow's dog Pepper. You remember all of it, all of these great storylines. But now it's just, what's happening? Well, you know, Seth's going to fight. He's got an open challenge. Who he fighting? I don't know. Just whoever comes out that night. And now he's going to have a match with them. And then next week he'll fight some random other person. And
I understand what you're saying. I mean, the formula that has been tried and true is no longer working for the new fans.
No.
It doesn't work anymore. I mean, everything needs to be refreshed. There has to be reason behind it. Take, for instance, right now, everybody's favorite topic of conversation, especially when it comes to the game runners or us here on Marking Out Amongst Friends. I'm going to pull up this young gentleman right here. Roman Reigns. I had to do it. I mean, y'all know that I'm a Romanite, so I just had to bring him up. Now, Roman has been with the tried and true tested formula of, oh, okay, so I'm a good guy. I'm getting attacked all of a sudden by this person.
Yeah.
It's going on actually right now. But they actually have a reason, at least, to make it happen. Roman has not been able to get the cheers to be the face because of, in my opinion, because of Braun Strowman, really. He's not Roman. And people have just gravitated to him because he's anti-Roman right now, because he's anybody but Roman Reigns. And people have gravitated to that, which is fine. And I like Braun Strowman too, don't get me wrong. However, him being with Jinder Mahal.
The modern day Maharaja.
Yes, the modern day Maharaja. Jinder Mahal did something that nobody expected him to do. He came from just at first starting out as a security guard with the Great Khali, or he was being, even forget how it goes. Well, he went from nothing to feeding with Khali to then nothing again and going to 3MB and getting released and coming back bigger, stronger. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's in the WrestleMania Andre the Giant Battle Royal, getting jobbed basically to a non-active wrestler, a football player, Rob Gronkowski. The next night, getting drafted over to SmackDown and then becoming the title holder, the WWE champion, and the biggest heel on the roster for SmackDown at that time.
Yes. No. First of all, Jinder was not nothing. Jinder was not nothing. Jinder was the top heel in NXT. And a lot of people don't remember. He was the top heel in NXT. He fought for the NXT title when they first did it, him and Seth. He lost the title to Seth, but he was a big deal. He was the biggest heel in NXT. Had a great match with Seth. Then he lost that. Then he was gone for a little bit, came back, and I guess sometime in that point they started putting him on the main roster with Great Khali while he was still doing NXT. Great Khali is trash, so they got rid of that idea. He came back, said he was going to go back to try to get a rematch for his title. In the middle of the couple weeks that he went from going to get going back to get the title, he now joins 3MB. So now he comes to NXT in 3MB clothes when he was just the modern day Maharaja down there, and then he loses, and then he goes to the main roster full time, and he just gets jobbed out the rest of his time there. So he was a big deal, and they jobbed him out while he was still a big deal. I don't know why they just started, jobbing him out. And then, yeah, like you said, he left, came back bigger and better. I always liked Jinder. I thought he had a raw look. When I first saw him come up with Great Khali, I was like, oh, this dude looks raw. I can't wait to see what he does. And then when he came back, I'm like, oh, great, he's back. Oh, my God, he looks big. And I'm like, please don't say they're going to just job him out again. When he won the championship, I was like, this is great. I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And although people still hate it, I continuously say he was the best heel in the company. and everybody say, oh, they hated him. He was a failed champion. No, it wasn't. He was a heel champion for which people hated. So how can you be failed if you were hated and they booed you? That was the whole purpose. If you say he cheated every time, he's a heel. That's what they do. You know, the problem with people today, they'll say that they want a heel champion or that somebody's a heel, but they're not. Kevin Owens was not really a heel because some people booed him, but a lot of people thought everything he was doing was cool. So he wasn't really a heel. You know, Sami Zayn, all these other people, AJ, some people didn't like what he was doing. Some people booed him, but people still was like, this is AJ. We know him from Independence. We know him from TNA. They still liked him. Jinder was one of the only people that people just hated. That's the entire point of a heel. That's the point of Ric Flair back in the day, Vader back in the day, Rick Rude back in the day. You were supposed to hate them. And they were not supposed to do cool stuff for you to like them. They're not supposed to win the match fairly because that wouldn't be what a heel does. So yes, they're supposed to cheat every single time. I hate it because he cheats every match. That's what he's supposed to do. If you hate him for cheating, that's what he's doing his job. If you boo him every time he comes out, he's doing his job. So he did his job, and everybody hated him. And he did his job every single time. So he can't be a failed champion and all of this stuff because he did exactly what he was supposed to do. I'm supposed to be the top heel on SmackDown. I was the top heel on SmackDown. Defended my title however many times, kept it however many times, and was still hated. Seth Rollins did the same thing. He had the cabinet or whatever. J&J security. I mean, he had J&J security. He had Kane. He had Triple H. All of them jumping people for him. But since it was Seth, so we still liked him. But he was supposed to be the bad guy. But since everybody supposedly hates Jinder, now he's doing the same thing. But we got to hate him because you just don't like Jinder. Oh, he can't wrestle. He's a heel. It doesn't matter. If he punches and kicks, that's what heels do. He's not supposed to do flips and flops. He's not supposed to do elaborate moves. That's not a heel. He's supposed to punch, kick, gouge you in the eye, low blow you. That's what heels do. Real heels. A lot of times now, people don't do that. They want to do all their high-flying moves and want to do all their spectacular moves while they're a heel, and people cheer them. You're not supposed to get cheered at all. They're supposed to hate you. Everything about you. And Jinder did that.
And that's why, what my point in all this was, that's why Roman really, truly needs this feud. If they really want to try to solidify Roman as being the big dog, and he's not getting the cheers, give him Jinder Mahal. I know I had said this a few times. Give him Jinder Mahal. Give them somebody that they just purely hate strictly for the purpose of hating them. A true heel, just like Jinder Mahal. And people will actually respond a little bit better to Roman because of it.
They're going to respond better. They're going to respond better. I mean, everybody's hate for Roman is ridiculous. And they hate him because they say he can't wrestle. Although you can't tell me a match that you was like, oh, besides the crap with Brock, but that's Brock's fault. You can't say, oh, there's a match I don't like because he was boring. You've seen the matches with him and Braun. You've seen the match with him and AJ. All the other matches with other people, and they were like, oh, there were some great matches. You know, it was the same thing that they said about Cena, but he's having 5-star matches with all these people. And then you say, you know, Cena, you said Cena can't wrestle. AJ, when he had the match with AJ, one of the greatest matches of all time. Him and Kevin Owens, one of the greatest matches of all time. Roman Reigns and AJ had an incredible match. And then they said, oh, well, it was AJ. So if they were like, it's AJ. AJ, you know, did all the work. AJ is the better wrestler. So if that is the case, then tell me, can AJ do the exact same match with the Great Khali? If that match, if the match that he did with Roman Reigns or Cena, who both of them can't wrestle, if he can have that same match with Great Khali and make it look like that, then I'll say, okay, he can wrestle anything. Both of them suck. If you can't do that, then it has to not be just that he's so good. It has to be, well, they all just got to be good too. You know, their hate for him, I mean, it's
not legitimate.
Yes. They're going to cheer. They're going to boo him. Right now, they boo him because it's cool. And it's the same thing they did with Cena. They booed him because it's cool. But people don't get it. Everybody's like, oh, Roman, I hate them or hate him. Boo, all this shit. And it doesn't make sense. You boo the hell out of him, but for what? And then you boo him and then say, why do they keep shoving him down our throat? Okay, first and foremost, if Roman Reigns comes out and you boo the pure hell out of him, it's a match. You boo him to death. He walks back out there. Kevin Owens walk out there. Boo, yay. But you just booed the hell out of Roman. Which one just got the louder response? Roman. So, well, who got the loudest response? Well, Roman, but they booed him. He's supposed to be a good guy. But did he get the loudest response? Good or bad, they responded to him more than they responded to anybody else, except for probably Braun. But they booed him more than everybody else. So you still gave him the loudest response. So he's still doing the job. Yep. Men, and what the problem is, men hate him. Men don't like him. But you ask kids and you ask women, they love him to death. I wonder why. I wonder why. Everybody's like, well, they're trying to, Vince loves him because he knows. Vince knows.
Just look at him. I'm sorry. Woman here, just look at the man. Look at him. What is not to like? I know women, I've shown Roman Reigns' picture too, and they're like, oh my God, who is this?
Yes. And that is the whole thing. I see, men, they be like, oh, he can't wrestle or whatever. He can wrestle. But they be like, why they keep shoving him down the throat? Well, let me tell you this. He is getting the audience that the WWF hadn't gotten in a while. Really haven't got since The Rock. He's getting women. I know women. I know women. A friend of mine went to a WWE wrestling show. I saw her on TV. And I was like, I saw her and talked to her. I didn't know you like wrestling. She was like, I don't. I was like, but I saw you at the show. She was like, yeah, I just went to see The Rock. So you mean to tell me that you paid a ticket to only see The Rock? Yeah. So she paid a ticket. So that means that women are coming just to see The Rock. I went to a show in a house show in Greensboro. Everybody coming out, everybody's like, yay, yay. I remember it was some girls in front of us. They're asking, so who is this guy? So who is this guy? Who is this? They don't know who none of these people are. Roman Reigns comes out, and they're yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs. A friend of mine who's with me, she is going completely nuts, yelling and screaming because Roman Reigns is out there. Oh, my, she's going crazy. But they don't know who the other people are. And the only other person that they were doing it to, at least somewhat, is Finn Balor. So he's bringing something that they don't have. He's bringing women. Women have kids, and most of the time they know that women are going to bring their kids with them, which brings more profit. And they're going to be like, mommy, can I have this? And they're going to be like, yeah, whatever, get this, whatever. But they're bringing another demographic that they don't have or that they had lost. So for a long time, you didn't have that demographic. When The Rock left, a lot of the women who only watched it pretty much for The Rock left. So yes, you see Roman, you see another guy that looks like him. Yes, we're going to do the same thing with him. And Vince couldn't care less if you boo or cheer him. Well, why? You boo the hell out of him, and he's still selling everything. You go and check his merchandise, he's still selling everything. You boo and cheer him, he's still getting the loudest reaction. Why do I care? If you hated him so much, let him come out there and y'all say nothing. Nobody boo him, and he gets no response. Then they're gonna be like, okay, he ain't getting no response. We need to pull him we need to pull him away from this. We need to get him off. If the crowd is quiet, Look at like Apollo Crews or something. Watch his match. Nobody says anything. Nobody's cheering. Everybody's just quiet. So while they're quiet, he's an incredible wrestler. Nobody cares because he doesn't have the crowd. He has nobody cheering for him. He doesn't have anybody booing for him. He's just quiet. Nobody really cares about the match. Nobody cares what he's doing. When Roman comes out, he instantly gets the loudest response. And the exact same thing was going on when Cena was there. He got the loudest response. And it never stopped. So now he come out, let's go Cena. Cena sucks. He's now the bad guy and the good guy. He gets the loudest cheers and the loudest boos. So he's the face and the heel at the same time and get the loudest response of both of them of the night. Roman getting the same.
I knew people who would line up, and as soon as you hear that doom, 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 I mean, everybody immediately will break out into a John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. I mean, just everybody. The crowd would be so loud. If you go to any live events, like I've been to several, and whenever you hear those bells in the beginning of John Cena's song, those notes hit, the crowd goes electric. It erupts. It is full on heel boos. Like, you can't wrestle. You suck. I mean, just as soon as you hear that music, that is not a soul in that audience that is not making some kind of noise. Yep. And it is loud, and it is long, and it is obnoxious. And that is everything that John Cena is supposed to be doing as the face of the company. Period.
And then see, back in the day, you know, times are a little different. Back in the day, you know, you had the goody good shoes. You had the Hulk Hogan, the Eat Your Vitamins, and everybody just loved him. He could be good as heck. And everybody just loved him because he was so good. Now times have changed. You had the whole Attitude Era, so you had the good guy who did bad things with Austin. You had the good guy that talked junk and said stuff, The Rock. So you had the good guy who was completely, purely good. You cheered the hell out of him because he was purely good, and you had the bad guys that was purely bad. Then you had the good guys who were bad, but you cheered them. But they did bad things, but you liked it. Now we have to go back to, now you going forward. Now you got the good guys who supposed to be all the way good, but we want them to be kind of bad. So if they're all the way purely good, we want to boo them. But if they turn all the way bad, then we like them. Everybody says they hate Cena. If you turn bad, everybody will love him. So,
exactly.
But as a good guy, he never as a good guy, he's still getting the most boos and the most cheers. So if he turned bad, he would just get booed completely. And Roman would be the same. I mean, everybody's going to say that they should turn him bad. I would like it. I would just like to see if they did it just to see, you know, because we haven't had a good heel turn, like when Stone Cold turned heel, or back in the day when Rock turned heel or whatever. But, and especially now that you have so many more people now, like when Cena was there, you couldn't turn him heel because you didn't have anybody else to take his place as the main face of the company. I mean, but now you have many of them. You have Braun, you have AJ, turn Shinsuke back good. You have a whole bunch of people who could be the face. So he could turn bad. Roman can turn bad if they wanted him to. But again, he's still as the good guy, he's still getting the most cheers and the most boos. Kids are gonna always love him as this good guy, and as he sells merchandise to little kids, and women are gonna love him no matter what. So there's no point. Only thing they need to do is just find some better opponents. And the storyline they had with him and Braun, that was great. That was a great storyline, great matches. That's a good opponent for him. You know, hopefully the matches, Jinder Mahal, that is a good opponent. If they don't let him squash him, that would be a good opponent for him. If they have somebody that's a bad guy that, you know, can they allow them to beat him so like he's not completely unbeatable by this person? You know, Jinder should at least be able to beat him. If it's not believable, if they make it so it's not believable that he can't, that the Jinder can't beat him at all, then they're gonna mess it up. They have to at least have him to where he could lose. He can lose to him. But it has to be, but Roman has to get a little more edge. He has to do more things. Talking on the mic is not his thing, and he shouldn't do it. And if he did, don't try to make him say what you want him to say. Let him talk normal. If he talked his normal self, he could talk. If you say, you know, Jinder says whatever, he cuts a long promo and he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to whoop your ass. Wait till Sunday. That's all he has to say. He ain't got to make no long speech. Don't try to put him against Cena knowing he can't talk against Cena. It's just, he can't. That's not his whole deal. He should have had Cena say all of this stuff and, you know, he'd be, all right, that's cool, that's cool. You can make your little jokes. You can flash your little thing. You can do the I can't see you and all that crap. We'll see how much I can see you Sunday. You'll see when I'm standing over you, pinning you 1, 2, 3, which one can see who. And that's it. And you don't have to go to a verbal thing. He's not The Rock in talking. Or he can't go back and forth with somebody like Cena. It's not going to happen. So that's when they try to mess up. When they try to get him to push him to try to talk like this person. Try to go one-on-one with him. That's the same thing as if you try to have Bret Hart try to go against Cena or Rock talking back and forth. He couldn't do it. He can't talk that well and can't come up with stuff well enough to go back and forth. Stone Cold could, but Stone Cold and Bret couldn't come up with anything to go against Stone Cold as fast as Stone Cold was coming up with stuff. So you just don't let him have to try to go there and take it to where he can't do. Just have him say a couple words. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Believe that, and then walk off. Shake it, you know, pull his hair back. Women go crazy, and walk off.
Yeah. Or he could come with his hair up, then pull the hair down, and then walk off. Women go crazy for that too. I do.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, but now, like, if he did something now and everybody's like, if he wanted to turn bad, he could be like, you know, all these people booing. He was like, you know what? It's so funny that I come out here and all of y'all boo me. And I get it. All the men booing me, and I can completely understand. You're sitting here booing me while your woman is sitting there wanting me. And I completely understand. I would hate me too. If you look like me and your woman was feeling for me like she is, I could understand. I completely can understand that. She's sitting there looking at me and wondering how it would be to spend a night with me. And then she looks over at you and like, but I have this. I would boo the hell out of me too. You know, that's all he has to do. If they wanted to turn him bad, turn him to the cocky heel and use what everybody knows. Yeah, women love me. You know, he said, you know, he could just use that. He was like, you know, I know the only people that hate me are the guys, and that's just because they don't look like this. But I understand that completely. I mean, it's genetics. You know, it's really just genetics. That's why I look like this. You know, I was born like that. You know who my family is. You know who my cousin is. You know, I don't need to say any more than that. And guys would hate him, but women would be like, you know, he is right.
Or he could just say something as simple as this. I'm the reason why part of y'all are going to get laid tonight.
Oh, man, hell yeah. He'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna make you all cheer for me. Hold on. The next time y'all come to a show, watch this. Hold on. And he just take his hair down, flip it back, and flip it up, and then the women just start screaming. He was like, y'all gonna get some tonight. Y'all can thank me later. Y'all can thank me later. These he was like, y'all can thank me later. he could be like, you know, y'all gonna get
excuse me. I'm sorry, I got Helen in my ear. Okay, Helen, I'll give you some in the swear jar in just a moment, but you can go ahead and continue. I had to hit that swear jar a little bit. I took it there. Sorry, Helen. We'll talk about that tomorrow at the meeting. I understand.
But yeah, he can see a cut a promo like that, and he was like, you know, don't worry, y'all get laid tonight. Believe that. Walk off in the crowd. I mean, something like that. Then if he kept saying stuff like that, people would start like, okay, you know, I hate him, but that was kind of cool what he just said, you know, and just say stuff, little things like that. He ain't got to make a long speech, but that would start making people like him. They were like, man, forget him. But dang, that was kind of hot what he said. Because every time he says a little something is cool, people will be like, I hate him, but that was kind of hot what he said. That was okay, I like that.
And then that will gradually turn into a complete character, which people will start getting behind again. I completely understand where you're going with that point, sir. So definitely got to go ahead and wrap up the Roman talk. You knew it was going to happen sooner or later. You just didn't know when. But outside of that, let's go ahead and start to get into our final thoughts. Try to keep this short and sweet here. My final thought is this. Just coming off the straight heels and everything, if you're going to be a heel, be a Tommaso Ciampa. All you have to do is make everybody hate you by destroying everything that they love.
Yeah.
No music, nothing. And I know this is the second week in a row I've ended with Tommaso Ciampa, but then you got to end it with a good heel. And nobody has that heat besides him right now. A lot of people want that heat, and he's bringing it back old school. So my final thought is, if you're going to be a heel, be the heel that everybody hates. And that's my final thought. And what about you, Mr. VIP?
Definitely, I can concur on that. Yes, if that is something that is missing. You need to be that heel that they're cussing you out, and they loved you a couple months ago, but they cannot stand him, and they calling him all kinds of names. They're cussing him out, and he's just walking out there like, I couldn't care less. That is truly what a real heel is supposed to be. And it's great to see that finally come back. I'm loving it.
Do you have any final thoughts? Oh, I did forget something. I did forget one thing before I wrap up the show, before you get in your final thought. I did want to mention All In. Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks decided to go all in on the pay-per-view. And they sold out 10,000 seats at an arena in Chicago in 30 minutes. They put in their own money, and the show sold out. I don't even know who's on the card. I don't know what the roster's going to look like.
They know who's on the card yet.
Exactly. All I know is it sold out in 30 minutes. That is incredible. What do you think about that?
I'm proud of them. I mean, anytime anybody can do anything, wrestling wise, it's good. You know, they said they were gonna do it, and they did it. You know, I'm hoping that the show lives up to, you know, everything that's hyped up to get them to this point. You know, the first hurdle was could they get a venue? The next one, can they sell as many tickets as they wanted to? now they just got to get the talent to the show and put on a great show. I think I heard that Cody is going against I forgot his name, Nick Almas or whatever, whoever the NWA champion is. I think he's the guy that used to be in TNA.
That would be Nick Aldis. That is one Mr. Magnus, I want to say.
Mickey James's husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is Nick Aldis.
Yeah, so they're, right now that's the main event. I don't know how many people, are big on him. But I know he's probably going to have a bunch of Ring of Honor people and probably going to have a bunch of New Japan people. So, I think they're going to do good. If anybody knows me, I really don't like the Young Bucks.
No super kick party for you?
I cannot. I used to like them, but they're ridiculous with the super kick. It's so stupid to see somebody super kick somebody 1 billion times. Okay, yeah, we're good. And then you do all these outrageously amazing moves with no selling, and you just boom, and then start doing another move. I'm like, I think their hype with being with the Bullet Club, has got them over a lot, but they are really, really overrated in their actual abilities. I swear there's so many more teams that are way better than them, but they've been hustling, and they've hustled, I think they're like the top selling shirts and T-shirts and everything. And, Cody was not happy with his place in WWE, and he said he's going to go somewhere else and, try to make a better name for himself. And that's good. Cody is good. I always like Cody. But, it's kind of hard. WWE, you can't have every single person be main eventing. So, with everybody in WWE at the time he was there, did Cody really belong to main event with the people he was going against? But I can't wait. I love the whole character he's done. I love his new look and everything. I love he's using his wife. And I can't wait to see what they do. I can't imagine them having the show, not having like Kenny Omega, and some of the top New Japan stars there, and whoever still is in Ring of Honor, and probably anybody else who's under a contract where they can go wrestle somewhere else, trying to get them. But I had seen an interview with, I think it was Matt Jackson, one of the two, and he was saying that like somebody asked him about Hogan, and he was like, we can't afford him. And I was like, well, why would you try to? Why is that even a question? Y'all are supposed to be the new, why would you rely on his name? We already know Hogan can fill, that kind of arena by itself 10 times over. So they shouldn't be trying to get him, no matter how old he is, to do it. This should all be about independent stars or younger guys or people who are not no mainstay person. It should be just, younger guy. The only mainstay person you could get is like Jericho or something. And it's CM Punk, if they're probably going to try to get him. I know they said, since they were in Chicago, they want to try to get him.
Of course they want the second city savior.
Yeah.
We want him back in WWE too.
I think it'd be really cool. I think it would be, he's not going to wrestle, but I think it'd be really cool if he at least made an appearance. If he came out, that would be really huge for them. If they could get him to just come out, maybe make a speech, cut a promo, or he could, do somebody.
Pipe bomb.
Yeah, if he did something like that, I think that would be really huge. That would be something really memorable. Because one thing that has to happen is after this whole All In goes off, they have to have something big has to happen where people remember this. Because if they just have this, if they just have the All In and it's a great show, but nothing really big that people will remember, for a long time happens, and you're like, well, it was a great show, it was a great wrestling show, but it really wasn't, they didn't have no surprise person that we could not believe was there. They didn't have, no real thing that just had people just, oh my God, But if you got CM Punk to come out and just talk or just make an appearance, that would be newsworthy. That's going to be flashed all over everywhere. CM Punk appeared at All In, and that's going to be shown everywhere. So if they want to try to do this again, people are going to really like, oh, shoot, now next time they may go for 15,000 or 20,000 seats or something. Well, they already had a big show. They got CM Punk to come to their first show. So who could they get next? Or maybe they'll get in the wrestle. What could they do this time? So yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens. I wish I could go to it, but I can't wait to see what they do with this new one and how it turns out.
All right. It's good to see the thoughts there. Did you have any other final thoughts, anything that you just want to get off your chest real quick while you had the opportunity, sir? The air is yours.
I'm just really excited. I finally got to do this. This has been something I had talked about, with everybody for a long time, and now seeing us actually getting to do it, I'm really excited. I had to work every night, so I could never be off to do it, but just really happy to do it and can't wait to see if I'm able to do it some more.
Well, we definitely have enjoyed having you here as our special guest this evening. I know I have a ball every time we talk. It's magic anyway. So thank you. Thank you for your time. And thank you all for listening. This has been Marking Out Amongst Friends, and we'll see you next time. We out.